fast money is not money that you can build a legacy over. Fast money actually doesn't go far because it actually runs out as fast as it comes. Talking about knowing and respecting your boundaries, I think it's important to know what you're not capable of. Sometimes we want to talk about, do you know who you are? But also, do you know who you are not? And so because you are a child emotionally, you will be dwarfed financially. So if you're going to be my friend, you either have to be my friend for loving God with, or my friend, family friend, or my friend for making money. If you don't appear in any one of these three, you can't be my friend. If we're going to have fun, has to surround faith, family, and finance.
Welcome to the Waluversity Podcast with Dr. Walubita Siyanga.
Hello and welcome to the Waluversity Podcast. I'm Innocent Kalaloka, and today is yet another interesting topic by way of the book that we are breaking down, Money and Maturity, exploring the 20 traits of maturity and how they influence the creation of wealth. And of course, on his own podcast, Dr. Walubita Siyanga.
It's always a pleasure to have you. I'm always grateful when you come through and have me have conversations from this book.
Yeah. Okay, I remember last time I was here, I was blown away. I think that, there are a lot of things that we think we know, or at least we know, only that maybe the chronological order is what makes us not put together and apply what we learn. And I think that's what your books really get to do, because they kind of make it easy. They break it down for you and you're like, okay, I think I can actually do this.
Yes, they put things into context and things into picture and make them applicable, especially with matters of wealth creation and finances, very, very cardinal conversations.
Okay, so money and maturity. In as much as we've seen some very elderly people who are not very mature where money is concerned. But generally, what are you saying about money and maturity?
I wrote this book because I came to the realization that actually the more someone chooses to walk the way of maturity, the quicker they begin to prosper and actually begin to have money. And I find that the more people delay in growth, as we know, maturity has nothing to do with age. No, it's really about how you respond to life. It's responsibility. It's how you begin to take on life and what must be done and what is required for you to be able to achieve in life. And so I noticed that those that delay to grow, they grow in years, but they don't grow in terms of the mind, in terms of maturity. They delay their wealth curve going up. You find some people only begin to do well way later in their years because they chose to grow by default, not by development. Because you can grow wambozone lamo because now I have gray hair, so I must start behaving. That's too late.
And all my friends are
yes,
and
that's
not.
a bit too late. What you want is to have the wisdom of gray hair while you still have the strength of youth. If you can achieve that, then you begin to attract wealth to yourself quicker.
Okay. And this really kind of brings us to, the first chapter, which talks to making commitments or promise to others and keeping them.
Yes. Again, that's one major trait of somebody who's mature and somebody who's able to keep actually promises to themselves and then also being able to keep promises to others. Because what that builds immediately, I know it stems into the other conversations, but it builds immediately somebody who's trustworthy. Somebody who people want to deal with. Nobody wants to deal with somebody who can't keep a commitment. No, I will come tomorrow, they don't come. No, I will be there by this time, they're never there. No, I will do this for you and they never do. Before you know it, people like that, people start to shun them and people don't want to deal with a person like that. And eventually, that's how the poverty creeps in. People, again, tend to think wealth is really about the money. But I beg to differ. Money is something that actually comes in as a result of the fact that you have built a quality such as that one. Because who wouldn't want to employ somebody who is a person of their word? Who wouldn't want to do business with somebody like that? So even if I don't have money, but I'm a person of my word, in no time, people with money will identify me and want to deal with me and work with me. And eventually I will begin to even prosper far beyond those that are still being playful with life.
Okay. So a lot of topics here. This book has 20 chapters you're running with. So I'll pick and choose.
Yes.
So there's consistency in pursuit to one's goals. Yes. There's emotional stability. Yes. And I think I'll stop there.
Okay.
I think emotional stability is major.
That's a good one. Again, you'll be shocked that a lot of people are emotionally childish, for lack of a better term. And it's such a drawback to not just in matters of like marriage, but in matters of how we approach life. If you're somebody who takes things too personally, somebody who is moody, somebody who is very self-centered and is all about you, again, you push away people that are able to help you. You push away opportunities that may come your way because there's a lot of emotional instability. There are people that want to replace dealing with how they feel with a feeling of, let me go out there. So because I'm feeling sad, I'm going to shop, and I feel better when I shop. I feel better when I buy clothes. I feel better when I treat myself to good food. And because the solution is not in the good food to make you be better, you keep feeling bad and you keep spending. All right. And so that lack of emotional stability robs us in many ways. And so because you are a child emotionally, you will be dwarfed financially.
I like that. Okay, so money and maturity is the book we're looking at. So the next one is wisdom, ability to acquire and apply knowledge for profit.
Yes.
Okay. Fifth one is self-governance and self-regulation. That's for you to read. Superior focus on concentration, not easily tossed to and from. Superior focus and concentration. Yes. I like that. Not easily tossed. I think that a lot of people are culprits to that because you want to please the other person.
Yes. I had a conversation with somebody, and we were talking about how they must not be swayed to the left or the right based on what is going on around them. People can make you do things, especially in the day that we live in, the social media age. The urge to revenge posts or revenge comment when somebody has commented negatively on your post. That is very, very real. But what success needs is whether people clap for you, do what you've got to do. Whether people boo you and say negative things about you, do you have the ability to still do what you've got to do regardless? That takes you to be a grown-up. It takes you to think like an adult. It takes you to really, really mature. A lot of what we see, again, I'll reference social media, the whims that we see on back and forth, no, this one says this, when we post this, a lot of that, I'm sorry to say, is very childish. It's not mature. And you are not going anywhere if people can. Maybe I don't know whether I'll take long on this, but let me give this. This is an analogy
because this is what the world we're living in now.
Yeah, there's an analogy, IK, of a man on a donkey. Him and the wife are on a donkey. People are like, you people are cruel. Both of you on a donkey. No, you can't do that to the poor donkey. So the man decides to drop off and allow the wife. And then people are coming, but how can you allow your wife alone and you are walking on foot? Then he jumps on the donkey, puts the wife down. People come and say, no, but you can't make your wife walk. You are on the donkey. Then both of them get down. And people are like, you are mad. You are just dragging a donkey. A donkey is for you to sit on. And you're just moving now. Is the donkey a pet? What's going on with you? So then they realize whatever we do, people will still have something to say. So my encouragement, and for me, maturity means say all you like, whether negative or positive. I know who I am. I know my purpose. I know what I'm doing. If you can get to that level of maturity, then you are set for wealth creation. And that is what it takes.
And that's a lot in this day and age because the comparison
there's
trap.
Too many things. Oh my goodness.
Okay, self-governance, self-regulation, responsibility, superior focus and concentration, not easily tossed. I think we went through that, yeah. knowing and respecting limits and boundaries,
Yes.
being gritty.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Talking about knowing and respecting your boundaries, I think it's important to know what you're not capable of. Sometimes we want to talk about, do you know who you are? But also, do you know who you are not? Yeah.
And that's the question that's never asked.
Yeah.
It's really about, do you know who I am?
Yeah. Because, and some of us, just because you are good at something doesn't mean you should pursue that. I think it's important to learn to align yourself with what's best for you. Yes, you can play football. Yes, you can play an instrument. Yes, you can draw. Yes, you can talk well. Yes, you can write. But what is your area of your best concentration? And can you decide, look, okay, because I'm an author, I will author and I will not go play football? Because you see, for you to go play soccer at the professional level, that is when you're going to get the maximum benefit out of it. Yeah. So we're not talking about, yeah, you're good, you've got some talent. No, it doesn't. Success takes more than just having some talent. So what I see is that a lot of people have diffused their ability, they have diffused their talent, they're diffusing their efforts because they want to do so many things because they have a bit of ability everywhere. The issue is, can you set boundaries to know who you are not? Set boundaries to know what you're not involved with. Set boundaries to know where you can't go. And be clear to say, I'll tell you, for example, look, I love football from afar. But I can't say I'm like a fan like that. And I can't say I play like that. Of course, I used to play when I was young, but you would never find me because that's not my lane at all. I need to respect people like you who understand football, and you can comment, you know the formations. I cannot, when you tell me 4-4-3 go for me, I have no idea. I have a little, but you see, leave it to the people that are supposed to do that. And so knowing that this is not my space and this is my space, then I can concentrate in my space and become the best there. And that way, then I can build something that will leave legacy.
Okay. So, again, money and maturity. That's where we're at. Patience. Again, I want you to talk a bit about that because I think, again, we're living in a social world where patience doesn't seem like a virtue.
Yeah.
Because then you're slow, then you're not happening. To be patient is a very difficult thing these days.
Yeah. Again, patience is an aspect of maturity. And somebody has said money grows on the tree called patience. Again, there's a lot of people today that could get to a level of wealth, but they are not because they want fast money.
Yeah.
And fast money is not growing money. Fast money is not money that you can build a legacy over. Fast money actually doesn't go far because it actually runs out as fast as it comes. Nobody ever actually builds anything with fast money. What wealth needs is somebody who will have a level of patience and the kind of patience that has timing and precision and strategy to know, like the lion, the way the lion hunts. The lion doesn't run up and about because it has the ability to run or because it has the strength. No, the lion can sit for 3 hours in a bush, timing, knowing to say, this is where the impalas come and drink water from. And I need to check the weakest of them and to see the one that's not going to be protected. And it sits to strategize and it's very patient. You'll be wondering, so what is that lion doing? It's been lying there for 2-3 hours. No, it knows what it's doing. When it strikes with precision and it has the whole catch. Now imagine, in fact, it's funny using the lion analogy when you look at young lions because they're not experienced. If you watch National Geographic, the young lion will be running around and chasing little birds. It's chasing and trying to, and it tires itself. And at the end of the day, it's tired. It's just lying down, hasn't eaten anything. And why? Because it's inexperienced. One of the things that we should draw experience for, lessons from is how elderly people have that patience. If any person who is even younger can adopt the ability to be patient strategically, they'll go very far in life, further than some of the older people even, because patience is a maturity issue, actually. It's not an age issue.
Okay. All right. having priorities in order, having contentment at each level of growth. That's a big one also, because the moment they just acquire a little bit of wealth,
Yeah.
you have to go and floss.
Let's combine those two. I feel they are very, very important. Priorities. People don't have them in order, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. I'll draw a personal example. For me, number one in my life is God, and take note, God, not church, God. There's a distinct thing there. So everything about me, number one, God. Number two is my family, and number three is my money. Those are my top three. That governs everything that I do. So if you're going to be my friend, you either have to be my friend for loving God with, or my friend, family friend, or my friend for making money. If you don't appear in any one of these three,
You are not my friend.
you can't be my friend. If we're going to have fun, has to surround faith, family, and finance. So because I have my priorities in order, I'm able to prime myself for wealth creation. I'll tell you what happens in this day and age. A lot of people don't understand their priorities. They are able to sacrifice their family for friends. They are able to put their children choir for a side chick. Literally, can't pay school fees for the child because the money went to a side chick. Literally, food at the boarding house for the side chick. Literally, priorities out of order. And that is why we have a challenge with people that it's not that they don't have the money. They do have the money, but because priorities are out of order, there is no way you can grow and build from there. So for me, I think the issue of priorities is very, very, very key in transitioning. What was the other topic again?
Having contentment at each level of growth.
Thank you. Because then when your priorities are in order, then it's very difficult for me to start competing with certain people that have gone ahead of me. That is a critical conversation, because sometimes also we want to compare with people that are at level 10 when we are at level 1 or level 2. Level 1, level 2 conversations cannot be the same as level 10 conversations. I can't be starting a company and trying to get notes from somebody who has 600 employees. It won't apply. It won't apply.
No,
The
it
best I
won't.
can do if I'm at 1 is see who is at 2 and see how they got to 2, so that I know how to get to the next level. So my target would be to find out from somebody who has actually started the company and it has started running. So how did you register at Pakra? How did you do this? That's your mentor at that particular time. You can't go for a mentor who has 8 branches internationally, and you can't. So, and that I'm talking about being content with where you are, especially with the times that we are in. There's too much unhealthy comparisons that we do to the extent that it actually paralyzes our efforts. So we are failing to do and be what we're supposed to be, because we're really paralyzed by what's going on around people that are succeeding around us.
Okay. Our last one will really be, there's a lot more, like I said, being principled, superior sense beyond common sense, a philosophy of get rich sure, willingness to pay the price, delaying gratification. I think I wanted you to end on that, because then we're kind of really like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. When we talk about, again, delaying gratification, it's very, very important, because it's a maturity trait also. When you are delaying gratification, you are allowing for things to mature. Business has to mature. Your money sense, ability, capacity to handle money has to mature. And so if you emphasize wants over needs, that is where you get into, no delayed gratification. People that are able to delay gratification are people that say, look, I need shelter, I need water, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I need safety, when those things are in place, then I can, think about my future also, and not just consume everything that I have now. And so, again, the spirit of the book is, it doesn't matter how old you are, if you can learn to delay gratification from a young age, you have a better chance to create wealth than people that want the money now, the car now, the good food now, living a luxurious life now. You will beat those by far. But like I said, you go fast, money will run away fast. But you go slow at this patiently and you're building. Those that went ahead, you leave them behind and you build a legacy.
Oh, yeah. I think delayed gratification, major. Of course, we live in a generation of now.
Yeah.
Because he has it, I have to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind how they got it. I need to have
It's
it
wild.
now.
It's wild.
It's really wild. But this is the book that can help you navigate all those issues, money and maturity. You want to get this. A lot of other topics we've not touched on. And it's simple because you're going to read. Because you love to read. All right, Doc Wallo, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
All righty. Till next time, money and maturity. Be mature.